Good afternoon, everybody. How's all y'all doing today? You hear them ducks or geese or whatever it is back there? I took a picture of them. Listen to them. I don't know what's the matter. They might not like nobody down here. I'm at Chalk Bluff again today. I love it over here, and that's the water back behind me and the sand. You know, they're known for the white sand back there. That's why they call it Chalk Bluff. I think it's great. But anyway, I figured I'd do another video. I'm trying to hold up this phone. I forgot my thing that I prop it up with, but anyway, what I want to talk about today is where is my help? Where is my help? That's the title of this. And I'm going to tell you Psalms 121, 1 and 2. It says, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. And that's who we got to go to for help. Our help is in God and God alone. I mean, he might send other people to help you, or you know, whatever different kind of avenues to help you, but ultimately your help is in God. And I'm going to talk about that today, and I know it for a fact because he's helped me through all kinds of things, and it's been the Lord. It wasn't counselors and medicine and, you know, other people. I mean, you know, we depend on other people to accept us and love us, and, you know, I'm not saying that people can't get help from that, but a lot of times medication is just covering over and trying to numb out whatever it is you're going through and the pain you're suffering. It's just like drugs or alcohol or food or sex or whatever. You're trying to just block out the pain. So a lot of times I don't think medication's good for you. You need to be able to deal with it without that, you know. I'm not saying biologically we don't need some kind of medication, you know, if you got blood pressure problems, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying, if you're trying to take medicine to deal with trauma in your life, I don't think it's good. I think you're going to have to get past that. But I wanted to talk to you today about where my help comes from. And I was studying this yesterday, and I think it's beautiful, and I think that's the best thing we can do is to point people toward God. I want to point you toward our help. He's our help. And these chapters and scriptures don't just apply to the people back in the Bible days. They apply to us right now. And if you trust him, he's going to see you through no matter what it is. No matter what it is, he loves you like no other person can love you in this world. And he wants to help you. He grieves when we're hurting. The Bible says he bottles up our tears. You know, it hurts his heart when we're hurting. You know, we have to go through things sometimes, and things that we brought on ourselves and the sin that we engaged in. And, you know, sometimes just things happen and we lose people that we love, and we go through all kind of things, but he grieves with us. He loves us. And I'm going to talk about in Psalms 142. I was reading about David yesterday, and I thought I think I've talked about 143 before, but I don't care. It's good. It's worth talking about again. David said, he says, I cried. And I'm going to tell you what each one of these words mean. I looked them up all day yesterday. It took me a while in this Bible study, but I looked up what these words mean. And he said, I cried. That means to shriek from anguish or danger. Aloud, I cried unto the Lord with my voice. I cried unto the Lord with my voice. And that's to call aloud, to shriek from anguish or danger, to call aloud. I called aloud to God with my voice unto the Lord, and I made my supplication. And that means to bend or to implore, to move by favor, by petition. You're asking him, you're begging him, I made my supplication to you, God. I'm letting you know what I want and what I need, and asking for your help. He says, I poured. That is like to spill forth. I poured out my complaint. That's you're conversing with yourself, or you're talking about things, or you're pondering, you're thinking about things. I poured this out to God. My complaint was that. I was pondering things I pondered on. I talked to myself about. I poured out my complaint before him. I showed. That means I manifested. I announced to him, before him, my trouble, what I'm going through. I announced it to God. I poured it out to him. I cried out to him in anguish or pain or, you know, fear. I'm crying out to my God. He says, when my spirit, that's a person that has the expressions and functions of a rational being, that's a person. He says, when my spirit was overwhelmed, it was shrouded in darkness, it was languishing, I was in extreme pain and misery, mental and physical torture, in agony. When my soul was my spirit was feeling this agony and pain, and I was overwhelmed with this. He says, when I was overwhelmed within me, then thou knowest. You knew, God, you know my path. You know the track that I take, my usual way I deal with things, my usual way, my usual path. You know it. It's a road frequently traveled. It says a path. That's what we usually do, how we usually deal with things, how we usually travel. That is God. He knows. He knows. He says, in the way wherein I walked, the way that I walked, this trodden path, my life, the way that I live, they have privily means have hidden somebody, an enemy, has privily laid a hidden snare for me. He says, I looked on my right hand, and behold, but there was no man that would know. There was no man, no person that would know me, that would acknowledge me, to be acquainted with me, care for me. He was disregarded, ignored, rejected, like disowning him. He said, there was no man that would know me, no person, no human that would know me. He said, refuge failed me. Refuge, a fleeing, be able to get away, to retreat. It failed me. It was like I lost myself, to lose oneself. It says, by implication, to perish. You know, he said, no man cared for me. No man, they cared. That means they didn't seek or ask about me. No man cared. They didn't seek or ask about me. For my soul, they didn't ask about my soul. They didn't care about me. They didn't check on me. They didn't ask about me. You know, everything failed us. The enemy's there to try to destroy us, and there's nobody there we can talk to. He says, I cried. That means to shriek again from anguish unto the Lord, unto thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my refuge. You're my shelter. You're my shelter. And my portion, my allotment in the land of the living. Attend, it means hearken unto my cry. My shout for grief. God, hearken to my cry. For I am brought very low. I'm brought very low. I'm feeble. I'm oppressed. Oppressed is to be exploited or systematically harmed by others. I am oppressed. Deliver. Snatch me away, God, from my persecutors. That's running after me, that's trying to destroy me, that's, you know, fighting against me. He said, for they are stronger. They're more alert. They're more strong and mentally and encouraged. They're stronger than I. And David's crying out to God about all this. He's crying out. He's oppressed. He's depressed. He feels like he has no one. I have nobody that cares about me. I have nobody that cares for my soul or checks on me or asks about me. I'm alone, God, and I'm struggling, and I'm in anguish in my soul. Please come and help me, Lord, help me. And it says in the scriptures, you know, David wasn't a coward. He was not a coward. He was a man of war. He was not afraid to show fear or vulnerability as a weakness to God. He wasn't afraid to tell his whole genuine self, his authentic self to God. And that's why God loved David so much. David was not a fake. He was a genuine, authentic person, and it didn't bother him. He was a man of war. He fought Goliath. He killed Goliath. He told God, he said, blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. He taught him how to war and to fight. He says, the God of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my shield and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my Savior. Thou savest me from violence. He said, I will call on the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. When the waves of death compassed me and the flood of ungodly men made me afraid, he said, in my distress, I called upon the Lord and cried unto my God, and he did hear my voice out of his temple, and my cry did enter into his ears. Here's what he said he did. He said he sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them that hated me, for they were too strong for me. They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was on my stay. God's on my side. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighteth in me. He delighteth in me. He delighted in David. David loved God. David loved God. And he was honest and open with him. And then in Psalms 143, and like I said, I looked up all these words. I hope this is a blessing to you. You know, I'm just trying to point you toward the Lord, because he's our ultimately, he is our help. He's the one that can be there in the middle of the night. He's the one that can be there with you when you're sad or you're alone or you're depressed. You feel like nobody cares. God cares. God cares, and he loves you, and he will help you. I promise you he will. I know from experience he'll be there. He will help you. Psalms 143, David said, hear my prayer, O Lord. Give ear to my supplication. Give ear, Lord, to my earnest prayer. My earnest prayer. I'm seeking you with an intent prayer. In thy faithfulness, in your trustworthiness, God, your trustworthiness, answer me, and in God's righteousness, in thy righteousness, in your rightness, you're just, you have virtue, in your righteousness, enter not into judgment. Like, don't sentence me, God. Don't give me a verdict, either favorable or unfavorable. Like he's saying, don't enter into judgment with me, Lord, with thy servant. For in thy sight shall no man living be justified. No man alive will be justified if we come into the judgment of God, because every one of us sin. We all sin. We all do wrong. He's saying, please don't enter into judgment with me, God, because there's no man living that can be justified if you judge them, if you give them rightfully what's theirs. He says, for the enemy, the person that's hostile or hating, an adversary, they've persecuted my soul. They've had hostile intent and ran after me and trying to, he said, he's smitten me. They've bruised me. They broke me in pieces. They destroyed me. They humbled me. They smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell, to remain, or to settle in darkness, a dark place in darkness. Have you went through that? You know, where the enemies brought you down to the ground, broke you in pieces. And the enemy, the bad thing about it is that sometimes people you love, that you don't know that they're doing that to you. People you love, like Jesus and David both said in the one I was talking about friends in that video, how that, you know, he said, if it was my enemy, I could have bore it. I could have stood it if it's somebody that was my enemy, but it was you, my own familiar friend, somebody I loved, somebody I trusted. You betrayed me, you let me down, you hurt me. And you know, he went through some of that same stuff. You know, this is not just stuff that we read the Bible and we think, I don't understand that, and that's way back then, that's 2,000 years ago, or you know, whatever, or over 2,000 years ago. We don't understand all that, but the Bible says God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's always the same. He never changes. It's different people, different time periods, but God is the same. He never changes. He never changes, and he'll always be there for us until the end of time. The end of time. They were people just like us. They had emotions just like us, feelings just like us. They went through all the same things. He says, Lord, he said, you know, hear me, Lord. They've smitten me down to the ground. They've made me to dwell in darkness, in a dark place, as those that have been long dead, that's already died. They've made me to feel like that death, you know, in the darkness. He says, therefore is my spirit, my rational being, my person, my spirit is overwhelmed, it's shrouded in darkness, it's languishing within me. My heart, my feelings. Heart in the Bible is feelings, will, intellect. My feelings, will, intellect, the mind, the center of us. He said, my heart within me is desolate. It's numb. It's devastated. It's stupefied. God, I feel so numb and so dead and so alone and so afraid. You know, who ain't felt those feelings? We all have at some point or another. You know, we've all went through it. He says, I remember the days of old. I meditate. I ponder on all thy works. That's what we do, you know, that's what you got to do. He said, I muse, that means I think about something carefully and converse with myself about it on the works of thy hand. That's what we got to do. You remember what he's done for you in the past. You remember when you prayed something and you knew it was God. And something I do a lot, I write in a journal sometimes, and I write dates, and I write down what I was praying about or what was going on. And I can look back later and see, well, God brought me through that. Man, he brought me through that. Or, you know, remembering the miracle that he performed in my life that I had no way of seeing that was going to happen right then. It says you remember that. You meditate on what he's done before. When you're going through those feelings, you think about a time before that you sought him and that he answered a prayer and that you knew without a doubt that it was God. You know, he moves when there's no other way that this could have happened without him. He wants the glory and the praise, and he wants you to give it to him. Don't forget anything God's done for you. Don't forget it. You always think about what he's done in the past, when he's lifted you up, when you couldn't lift yourself up, when he did it. He said, I stretch forth my hands unto thee. I lift my hands to you, God. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. For my soul thirsteth after thee as a thirsty land. Like a dry ground, God, that needs some rain. My soul thirsts after you. I need you. I need you. And I've been in those places to where nothing could satisfy my soul but God. Nothing but God. There's times that I think I got to get away. I've got to get alone. I've got to seek God. I've got to get in his word. I'm not myself. I'm not myself. I need him. I love him. I trust him. I trust him. He says here, that means to pay attention to. God, please respond to me speedily, in a hurry. Lord, please respond to me in a hurry. He says, oh Lord, my spirit faileth. It's ceasing. It's finished. I'm perishing. My spirit is perishing. I'm dying, God. I'm dying. He says, hide not thy face from me. lest I be like unto them that go down into the pit. A pit, it's a hole, a cistern. At least I go down to that pit, God. Don't let me go down in that pit. You've got to help me, Jesus, or I'm going to go down in that pit. I need you. He says, cause me to hear. That's to hear intellectually, to listen. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness, your kindness, your beauty, your kindness, God, in the morning, at the dawn, at the break of day. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning. For in thee do I trust. In thee do I trust. It means to trust, to be confident or sure of. I'm confident in God. I'm sure of him. I trust him. He says, cause me to know the way of life, the course of life, wherein I should walk. For I lift up my soul unto thee. I lift up my soul unto thee. Because I trust you, God. Show me which way I should walk. Show me what I should do. You know, I prayed that this morning. I thought, God, I feel like sometimes that I'm not as close to him as I want to be. And I feel like even in some of these other videos, I would say, I trust him. And I've told my son that. I said, I trust him. Though he slay me, I trust him. He's never failed me. And I've been in the pit, like he's talking about, the pit of hell in my life. And he's always been there, and he's brought me out of it. And so I think about those things, but I think, God, you know, I say I trust you, and that I'll trust you though you slay me. And then, you know, something will come up, something little. You know, something little. It's like my son will act up some kind of way, my 13-year-old. Or, you know, I didn't get a house I thought I was going to get. Or I can't find a house. It's been 6 months and I've been looking for a house. But I know God's got that under control. I know he does. But at that minute, sometimes in disappointment, I think, where are you at, God? You know, where are you? I'm so down over these little things that shouldn't get me down. I should be trusting him. I do trust him. But the humanity in us and the flesh in us, we forget. We forget all the things that he's done. And you know, I do trust him. I did trust him. Even in the midst of hell in my life, I would get on my knees and I would lay on my face and I would cry out to God. And I said, God, I know you know where I am. You know what I'm going through, and I know you're going to bring me through it. I don't know when, but you're going to get me out of this. You're going to bring me out of this. And he did. He did. He says, thou art my God. He said, teach me to do thy will, Lord. For thou, he said, that means to be pleased with. God, teach me how to please you. Teach me how to be pleasing in your sight. Teach me what to do. Show me, God. He will. If we're honest and sincere with him, he's going to show us. He's going to show us. And we're never going to have that peace without him. You will never have the peace in your life. I don't care what you do, what you want, what you think you want. None of it gives you peace without God. If he's not in your life, you're not going to have peace with it, no matter what it is. He says, for thou art my God. You're my God. Thy spirit is good. Your spirit's good, Lord. Lead me. That means guide me into the land of uprightness, into straightness and justice and being just. Lead me into that, Lord. It's not in us naturally. We're not naturally that way. You know, it takes God to put that good in us. Lead us to it, Lord. He says, quicken me. Revive me, O Lord, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness, for your rightness and your justice and your virtues, your righteousness' sake. Bring my soul out of trouble. Bring me out of trouble, God, for your righteousness' sake. You know, I'm a Christian. I live for you and I love you. And what's people going to see around? You know, they know that I trust you. Bring me out, God, so they can see your righteousness and your mercy and your grace. Bring me out of this, Lord. He said, and of thy mercy, your kindness, cut them off. That means to root out and destroy completely my enemies and destroy, cause them to lose oneself, all of them that afflict me, that distress me, that put me in trouble, to hurt me. I'm sorry. I forgot to bring Kleenex. I'm so sorry. To afflict my soul, for I am thy servant. I'm thy servant. In Psalms 145, 8 and 9. Sorry, I got to hold this phone. He said, the Lord is gracious. That means he will bend and stoop in kindness to an inferior, to us, to favor or bestow favor upon us. He's gracious. He'll bend and stoop in kindness to us, the inferior that's worth nothing. We are worth nothing. You know, without him, we are nothing. We are nothing. And it says the Lord is gracious till he'll bend and stoop to us in kindness and full of compassion, full of compassion. He's compassionate. He shows sympathy and concern for us. He is slow. That means he takes a long time and he's patient. He's slow to anger. and that's to be enraged, or an intense and usually openly display of anger. He's slow to get angry like that. He does get angry like that, but he is slow to. He said the Lord is good to all. He's good to all. That don't mean just the Christians. That don't just mean you or me or whoever. It said he's good to all. He's good to all. Even all the animals look for him. It says they look for him for their sustenance, to feed them. He takes care of them all. He said he's good to all, and his tender mercies, his compassion are over all his works. His compassion is over all his works. And upon all those that be bowed down. I'm sorry, I went on too far. He says his compassion is over all his works. That means a product that he's made, all of his works, something he made, his property. That's his works. He is good to all his works. He has tender mercies over all his works. Do you think that he ain't going to have mercy on us? That he's not going to have tender mercy and love for us like you would your child? If you love your child and they are hurting, and I've heard this said before, that you can only be happy as your saddest child. Whatever they're going through, you feel it. You hurt for them. You know, your heart hurts. It aches, because some things, even if they have a heartache and their heart is broken and somebody hurts them extremely bad and you just die inside for them, it hurts you so bad. There's nothing we can do about it. We can just love them and pray for them and try to be there. But God can, you know. But the Bible says if we love our own children, how we love our own children, how much more does our Heavenly Father love us? He loves us so much more than even the love we can comprehend over our own children. He loves us more than that. And he's going to be there, and he can help us. His heart aches and hurts for us. Sometimes we got to go through some things. We got to go through some things for a while sometimes to get us to where we need to be, to realize our need for him, to get us out of sin. We're paying for our sin. Even though we're reaping what we sow, he still loves us. He's still hurting because we're hurting, because he loves us. He said the Lord upholdeth. That means he props us up. He props us up. He takes hold of us. The Lord upholdeth all that fall, and he lifts and comforts up all those that be bowed down. He lifts us up and comforts us, and he upholds those that fall. If we fall for whatever reason, it don't say if you fell down because you got sick or this or that happened to you, or you sinned and you're suffering over your sin. You know, you can say what people can think whatever they want. I don't care. I know my God. I love my God. I know him. And I know he loves me. And whenever I was in the depths of hell and despair and pain of what I was going through, and I was drinking every day. I was abusing alcohol every day. And I said, God, help me. Please help me. I prayed drunk and I prayed sober. And I prayed when I was bent over the toilet puking. And I prayed in the mornings when I was sick. And my blood pressure was up. And I was bloated and gaining weight. And I was miserable. And my husband and I would fight over the stuff that was going on, and the betrayal that he was causing me, and I was hurting, and I would get down and pray, and I thought, God, deliver me, help me. I don't know how it's going to come. But help me. Help me. I can't do this on my own. And sometimes it don't happen just right then when we think. You know, it ain't like you're going to, sometimes God will do something instantly, and other times it's a process. But just trust him through it. If it don't happen today or tomorrow or next week or next year, I went through that for 3 years the last time. And I've been through it before. I've been through this stuff before, and I didn't know when it's going to come, but I trusted him. And I thought, I can't do this, Lord. I can't fix myself. I'm so broken inside. I don't know how to help myself. Help me. Come on the scene. Help me, you know. And he gave me the strength to get out of it, but I was still in denial in a lot of things. My mind couldn't accept things because it was so painful. But he brought me through it. He showed me. He would wake me up in the night. He would let me see things that you just wouldn't see. If you're paying attention and you pray and you seek God, he's going to show you. He's going to bring it to mind because he wants to get you out of it. He don't want you living in hell and in pain and being betrayed and hurt. God don't want that to happen. Here come some people, and I'm trying to have this Bible study. But anyway, it said the Lord is upright in all his ways and holy in all his works. The Lord is nigh unto all them that call upon him. If you call upon him, address him by name, he's going to be there. To all that call upon him in truth, that's in certainty, truth, trustworthy, with their worthiness. If you call upon him and you know he's going to come on the scene, he's going to do it for you. To all that call upon him in truth, it says he will fulfill to do or to make, the desires to be pleased with. He's going to fulfill your desires, things that you delight in, of them that fear him. He will also hear, be attentive to their cry, and will save them. The Lord preserveth, he guards and protects those, all them that love him. But all the wicked, it says, the morally wrong and actively bad person, he will destroy. That means he will make them desolate, deserted. So that says a morally wicked or actively bad person. So see, that's what it's saying, that he will make them in a state of bleak and dismal emptiness, and make depressingly empty or bare. That means he'll make them joyless, disconsolable, sorrowful, feels deserted, lonely, hopeless, and sad, without consolation or comfort, and unhappy. Hi, how are y'all doing?
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just having like a video. I do some videos on YouTube, but
Oh, I love it. Carrie Keller, send it to me.
okay. My name's Yvonda Goldsmith, YVONDA. Just look it up on YouTube. Thank y'all. Anyway, I'll go back over that. It says, the Lord preserveth, he hedges about, he guards, he protects, he attends to all them that love him. But all the wicked, the morally wrong and actively bad person. That's what we got to talk about right here. See, it says all them that love him, but all the wicked. Okay, if you're wrong and you ain't trying to do right and you're actively a bad person, not like you slip up sometime or you sin or you do something that ain't right, but actively you practice wicked behavior all the time in your life, whether you're backslid, you never was a Christian, whatever, you're actively bad. Because I've been here too, you know, to where I wasn't doing right. He says he will destroy. That means he will make desolate. He'll make you in a state of bleak and dismal emptiness, make depressingly empty or bare. It says he'll make you joyless, disconsolable, consolate, sorrowful. You feel deserted, you feel lonely, you feel hopeless and sad, without consolation or comfort, being unhappy. So see, that's happened to us. You know, that happens to us when we turn away from God. You know, and the only thing that I can give you on this, let me get up and get out of here. Sorry, y'all. The only thing that I can console you with on this is to seek God. If you're a Christian, you hang on to him. You hang on to him. You have confidence and faith that he's going to bring you through, because he will. He will. I promise you he will. I know from my own pain and everything I went through. You know, I was so devastated by this last marriage, because, and I pray, I sought God, I seek God all the time, and I cried. I said, God, don't ever, ever, please protect me no matter what. Never let me ever love a sex addict again, because I've loved a few of them, and it's been nothing but pain, because I've had people say, well, why would they want to cheat on you? You know, you're a beautiful woman. And I don't feel like I'm nothing, but they've said that to me. You know, why would they want to go somewhere else? It's nothing to do with me, and it's nothing to do with you if you're going through that. These people just have got problems, and they're cheaters. And you know, I got to thinking about this too. It always talks about addiction. You know, people's addicted to this, they're addicted to that. It's a choice they're making. God can deliver you from whatever. Like me, you know, I was drinking every day. I was praying for God to deliver me. And when I got my heart right, I don't have that problem anymore. I do not have that problem with alcohol, because I got my heart right with God. I started seeking him. I got out of the mess I was in. I had no desire to drink alcohol. You know, he delivered me because I got my heart right. There's things called addictions that the world calls addictions, that the Bible calls strongholds. It's a spirit. It's a stronghold. I talked about one of the other videos about demonic spirits and possession and stuff like that. And there is those things, you know, they're ate up with it. They can't focus on it. Like me, when I was going through that, I was ate up with what he's doing. It's like a possessed person. I couldn't rest. I'm on his phone, looking up stuff. I was seeing what he's doing. Where is he at? You know, I couldn't go to work in peace. I couldn't do anything in peace. I was always wondering, what is he doing? Who's he talking to? Who's he looking at? Trying to find this stuff. I even tried to get you know, one of those things you put on their phones where you can see what they're doing, and going to get cameras in the house, and just all kinds of stuff that was driving me insane. That was a spirit, a stronghold, because my body, my mind, my God knew what was going on. And, you know, he would show me, let me see that things is going, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to be in denial because when you're hurting, you just don't want to see it. And I think what devastated me the worst about this one, because I had come from a dysfunctional family, I have dysfunctional ways of relating. I'm going to claim victory over that in the name of Jesus. But I had dysfunctional ways of relating to people, you know, and being able to love. A lot of times I wasn't able to love either because I didn't trust them. Not love right. I did love. Because I couldn't trust them because of my whole life and things I'd been through, and I just had a problem trusting. And especially, I mean, there's certain people, I guess I did trust them when I first got with them. I feel like I did, but if you did something wrong, I don't trust you no more. And so the thing about, I had been in relationships with sex addicts and people that hurt me. They was either talking to other women, you know, or they were seeing other women or looking up porn and getting on porn dating sites and pornography, which destroyed my self-esteem. You know, I didn't want anybody, I thought I'll never let nobody see me naked again. I will never feel good about my body again because I was hurt so bad to think that I love this person. And I'm trying to be what they want me to be, and they're out here cheating all the time. And look at young, beautiful women that's in the pornographic, you know, trade for whatever reason, but still, it like to killed me. And the last one, this was so hard because I felt like I could trust him. I don't know why he lied to me ever since I've known him about something. He always lied to me. He never was totally honest ever, the whole relationship from the very beginning. But I'd make up excuses and think, okay, well, he just don't like trouble. He don't want to have nobody, because he's very passive. So I thought he don't want to have trouble. So if I was asking him about an ex-girlfriend or somebody that's calling him or texting him or something, he would make up a story like, I just want trouble, don't want trouble. And I was aggressive. I'm very aggressive if I'm provoked. And I thought, you know, he just don't want trouble. He don't want me fighting with nobody or anything. So that's why he's lying. So I'd make up reasons, but he always lied. And so if somebody's lying to you and they're not honest with you, get out of that. Because if they're going to lie to you about this, they'll lie to you about that. You'll never be able to trust them. Never. Even if it's nothing as severe as what I've went through, you'll never be able to trust them. And I had loved other people, and you can think, and you know, we all say, and I tell people that's in these situations, that's not love. That is not love. And it's not. They're not loving you right. I don't care what they say they feel. I don't care what you think you feel. It's not love. It's not love. A person that truly loves you will not treat you that way. They will respect you, respect your feelings, never make you feel bad about yourself. You know, they'll never make you feel bad about yourself. They won't feel the need to talk to other women, look at other women, see other women. They won't. I mean, if you're in that mess, get out of it. Please get out of it. Don't waste your years in your life like I have on stuff like that. Don't waste your life on it. Get out of it and find some joy and peace. Seek God. Get some happiness. Find somebody that'll truly love you. But the point I was getting to, you know, people can say that's not love, and it's not. But it don't hurt you any less when you're in the middle of that. You love that person. You love that person, and it's destroying your soul and your mind and your heart. It's destroying you because you love them. You know, I've loved people. I've sat down and grieved and cried and hurt over them. You know, I've hurt over them. But the one that got me the worst is him, because I felt like I could trust him. I really did. And then, so I was so devastated after that. And I still, you know, I've not dated anybody. I don't care about dating anybody. I pray that God will heal my soul. I don't want to be alone the rest of my life, but I don't want it to be a need that I need to have somebody. And I'm scared to be alone because I'm not. I'm enjoying my peace. I'm enjoying my time. I'm planning trips with my kids. I'm looking for me a house to get in. And, you know, I love my alone time. It's not like I feel lonely. I always had to have alone time. But if I was single, I would feel extremely empty. And I don't feel that now. I don't. I love the Lord, and I love my life, and I like my kids and my job, and, you know, doing this right here in nature. And I'm planning me some trips where I can go see some nature, and I'm praying about a house, and I know God's got one for me. He does. He's not going to, you know, and it's not like I don't appreciate it. I'd feel bad and torn because I think, okay, you know, I'm asking for a house, and I have this apartment that's cute. God's provided for me, so I had my own space. I can take my own shower. Sam has his bedroom. You know, we got where to cook in there. We got stuff. So, you know, I felt bad about even asking for anything. But I do have a lot of stuff. The neighbors are like right outside. I mean, they can hear everything I say. I can hear everything they say. You know, there's cats running around. I can't have my wicker furniture outside because the cat's pooping on them and sitting on them, and I'm worried about fleas. I got neighbors around me and behind me that smoke cigarettes and smoke weed, although they're not supposed to be doing it in there. They do, and my whole house stinks from it. You know, it's just kind of a lot of things that get on my nerves. But God knows all that. He knows I'm grateful and thankful to have something. And I know he's got something for me. And I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm going to stop looking. You know, I was on Marketplace almost every day and sometimes more than once a day, looking to see if I could find something to rent in the whole surrounding areas and even out of the area. You know, there's nothing came up. There's nothing. And that's unusual in a 6-month period. So I know God's got something for me. I know he does. It's going to be the best that it could be. I don't care. It don't have to be nothing fancy. It don't have to be nothing big. It don't have to be nothing new. He's got something for me where I have my own space and my own privacy. God knows me. I like doing this right here. I like having these videos and talking to you guys, and I hope I'm helping somebody because listen, I'm nothing in myself. I'm nothing. I know I'm nothing. You know, I just love God and I love you. And if I can help you in any way with stuff that I've learned and studied, I want to do that. I want to be a blessing to somebody with this stuff, you know. If it ain't, I pray you get something out of it. I pray you do, you know. I'm not thinking I'm anything, and please don't think that I think that, because I still fail. I still sin. I still mess up. You know, I get mad, I get angry, I get spiteful sometimes. I'm trying to pray that God will help me every day, and I want to get better, and he has made me better. And I pray for all you guys, and I just want you to know that no matter what you are going through, no matter what you're going through, the pain that you're going through right now, the pain that you're going through, and the indecisive, you don't know what to do, and you don't know, you know, how to get help, you don't know how to get victory. It's just like the end of the, you're depressed, you're lonely, you're sad, you feel like nobody cares. There's no person in this world that cares for my soul. There's no one can help me. Just like David said, there's no one that cares for my soul. They don't ask after me. They don't seek me out. They don't care about me. And when you're depressed, you can feel that way, even if it's not so. But sometimes it is so. You know, sometimes it is so. But when you're depressed, you feel like that anyway. And I just ask you to seek God. Get on your knees and seek him and love him and depend on him. Trust him. He is trustworthy. He's the only person that I know in this whole life that is trustworthy. I've trusted him in my whole life, and he ain't never let me down. Look where I am right now. I should have been dead. I should have been dead. I should have been in prison. I could have been locked up in the mental hospital. I could have been a lot of things, because I could have been out here on drugs and on the streets. I could have been a drunk homeless with nothing. All kinds of things I could have been, but I'm here because I love him and I trust him, and he ain't never let me down, and he's never going to let you down either. And I pray that you get something out of this. God bless you. I ask that you share it, that you subscribe to my channel if you will, and you haven't done it, that you like and share, and God bless you all. Thank you for listening, and y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.